Hey everyone, this is Steve Weintraub with Collider, and I'm here in San Diego at Comic-Con, and I am really thrilled to have everyone from Alien Earth here in our studio. How are you all doing?
Very good.
So far, so good, Steve.
Aces.
Thanks for having us, by the way.
Thank you for being here. I'm not joking when I say that when I first heard this was being made and this man was making it, I'm like, fuck yes. Like, and I'm not joking around. I'm like, this is going to be good. And it is. If I'd seen the first episode, I would say yes. It's real good. Throwing that out there. Now,
Appreciate it.
I've been doing this with everyone. Before we get to talking about Alien, there's two questions I'll be bringing up. Everyone's been answering them. I'm obsessed with getting more people to see movies in movie theaters and not on your phone. So I'm curious, for each of you, do you have a favorite movie theater?
Yes, I do. At the moment, I'm lucky enough to be working in Vancouver, and they have a cinema called the Cinematheque. And its program is so brilliant, and it's films that are no longer in cinema, an old film and classic film, and it's exquisite. So I highly recommend.
The Art House Cinema in Crouch End, London. It's beautiful. It's like an 80-seater and a 120-seater. It's just wonderful. Excellent programming. Beautiful place.
I couldn't not mention the Prince Charles Cinema in Leicester Square, which I've been going to a lot. I've seen so many movies over the last couple of weeks. I went to see In the Mood for Love, the 25th anniversary with the short film at the end. That was beautiful. But yeah, what a beautiful theatre. It's got an amazing history. Yeah.
It's terrible. All I could think is the Pussycat Theater. They show some really interesting stuff. A big Village Theater, Westwood, California.
A lot of movie directors, if you're not aware, bought the Village Theater, and it's under remodeling right now. I've seen some of the plans, and it's going to be epic when it reopens.
I love hearing that.
Oh, I mean, seriously epic.
There you go.
I don't have reverence outside of Westwood. I right now try to go to any theater that doesn't show a lot of commercials. That's my goal.
I love AMC, but don't go to AMC.
Yeah, it is an issue.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I have one, the Alamo on South Lamar. One of the more original, Alamos, and it's about a 45-minute walk from my place. And so I usually have Saturday or Sunday, walk there, go see a movie, 12 p.m. Just saw 28 Years Later. Amazing. Stayed to watch it again. Then I walk back. I'm that cool.
You did back to back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was worth it.
Nice. I'm a West Village kid, so I like the Angelica in New York.
We're here at Comic-Con, and a lot of people here collect things. And so I'm curious for each of you, do you collect anything? And if you go on the convention floor, what are you looking for to bring home?
Something from Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
My son is 12, and I took him around yesterday, and he forced me to buy him an emotional support sword. So now he has that for the flight home.
Okay, I'm immediately going to go buy myself an emotional support sword after this interview. That sounds
Let's
too
do that
good to be
together.
true. Yeah, I need one of those.
No, I don't collect anything.
It's totally valid.
Thinking about starting, though. I'm going to look around today and see if something might, just spark. You know what I mean?
I grew up with Matchbox cars, but I don't think they sell them here.
They might actually.
Yeah.
They might.
I'll have to go on a deep dive.
Okay.
What about yourself?
Oh, no, I'm not involved in this anymore.
Oh.
I used to collect, in all seriousness, I used to collect a lot of things. And I've finally broken the habit. And but I have some of those large Sideshow Collectible type things. I have some stuff.
You're being very unspecific.
Fuck. I'm not trying to put myself in this interview. They actually, I do. There is something I've recently gotten into. They make these 1/4 scale and 6 scale video game cabinets that actually work. So you can get like a Pac-Man machine or like Dig Dug or Street Fighter, like these mini cabinets that are exact replicas, and they're amazing. So I actually have a bunch of those.
I got one of the. I got a Lebowski from Sideshow.
One of the figures.
Yeah, I got a little Lebowski.
Did they send it to you? You bought it?
No, I went over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they made one of me. That's not what this is about. And they said, take whatever you want. And they had a Lebowski. So I went home with the Lebowski.
So in other words,
kind of love it.
And so in other words, you were lying a little bit when you said there's nothing that you...
No, that's not a collection. I'm just making conversation, trying to connect with you, Steve, because you said you had some stuff from Sideshow and it was a problem, and I didn't want you to feel bad about it. So I said, I too have something from Sideshow. It's okay.
Right.
Does that mean if we go to Sideshow, we can get a life-size figure of you?
I'm not... I hope so. Steve?
I don't think they have one.
They don't have a life size.
Not a life size,
No.
but they do have some figures. And in all seriousness,
It really looks like me. It's way better than the one I made at home.
And does it take notes or?
It gives notes.
Okay.
I actually got some news for you. If this show ends up being a hit, which I think it's going to be, there's a good chance that figures will be made of a lot of you, or Funko Pops, or other things. So get ready because the merch is coming.
Well, but to take it back in time, the one thing I did used to collect was the original Star Wars figures that didn't exist. You had to cut the box tops off the cereal boxes, send them in, and I think we had to wait 6 months. And then you got a total nondescript box, and you had your first 4 figures, which I still have.
Wow.
Yeah, collector's items.
That was 78 years ago.
You know, you really didn't have to bring... I specifically didn't say when that movie was released. Or how old I was at the time.
So
but thank you.
A lot of people now have seen the trailer, and a lot more information is out there. So I don't want to do like the generic thing of like, what's the show about, blah, blah, blah. But one of the things that really struck me, and I have questions for you, but I'm going to go with the cast first. One of the things that struck me about the first episode is just writing is real good, all the performances, but it's like a big show. This isn't some sort of, this is a big one. What was the reaction for you guys when you started seeing scripts and realized, oh, wow, like what, this thing is really taking on the material?
Come on, jump in there, somebody. Go jump in there.
I'll just say with, Noah's writing and having the ability to have 8, hours of TV, you're able to dive into so many different avenues, so many different storylines, and really expand the world. But honestly, the first 10 pages that I read, maybe even 5 when I got the first script, I saw the world, and I there were rules to it, and it was grounded, and there's so much detail to it that I knew that wherever you took it, it would still stay grounded and raw and real, in the essence of Alien.
And you can't play the bigness, really. Like, you can only work on that one little section at a time kind of thing. And and leave the bigness to Noah.
And then there's the delicious thing of when you get to see the episode back and you're like, oh, I wasn't in that storyline. I forgot that that scene was even filmed or even in the story. Yeah. And you get to see these actors playing a scene, and you get to enjoy it as a fan of the show. Yeah. Such is the pleasure of being part of an ensemble, I think.
I do think it really struck me how grounded it was. As vast as it was, as big as it was, and thrilling and scary. The dialogue, and it was so delicious. It was, I think in the end of the day, it immediately was like, I just want to say those words. I want to do that scene. I just was like, that's a good day at work shooting that scene. I can't wait to get to it. Fun to, my acting technique has really come down to just memorizing lines at this point. And even just memorizing the lines was really enjoyable. So I think that's a real testament to his work, that as big as this thing is, the people, the characters start taking over, and it's so delicious.
I mean, I think amongst what is rather extraordinary in what Noah's crafted here, that harkens back to the original, in the spirit of what Ridley designed, is that is a very analog world, which is, I think, what you're reaching to. And that brings an authenticity to it, and it brings a relatability to it, especially as he's had to envision Earth in its future, but still capture sort of the aesthetic of the original. And that's really, truly an incredible feat.
So I'm so curious. You get the keys to the kingdom for this one. How much had you figured out in terms of like the full story and where you ultimately want to go with this before you start really committing to those the 8 episodes of the first season, because one of the things, like for example with Legion, I just felt like that was such a perfect beginning, middle, and end. Like the way you seem like with your writing to always know where you're going, unlike some shows which, I don't know, they're middling their way through. So can you talk a little bit about how much you figured out?
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of closed-ended storytelling, limited series, and I mean, a novel, I guess, is a closed-ended story. The end of a story is what gives it meaning, right? So on some level, in order to understand the story I'm telling, I have to know where it's going. Now, that doesn't mean I know how long it's going to take to get there, or even that as I get to the end, it's going to end exactly how I thought it would. But it is good to think several steps ahead as to where you want to go. And, as an ensemble storyteller, I think that's the excitement of having multiple points of view into a story and all these storylines that bounce off each other. And the other thing is when you have a xenomorph, you got to kill some people. And so you need a lot of characters so I can systematically kill them off one at a time. Sorry.
Yeah. For speaking of xenomorphs, talk a little bit about one of the things about the world of Alien is the alien, and so talk a little bit about what you wanted to do in the show in terms of creatures, enemies, like how much did you sort of figured out? What can you tease about that?
Well, I mean, the great thing about the Alien movies is that you have monsters, but the people are also monsters, some of them, and a lot of it has to do with class, which is really interesting in those first 2 movies. As the income level goes up, the morality tends to go down. So,
sort of like the real world right now.
It's our biggest problem, I feel like. But as far as the creatures go, what I'm trying to do is make you feel every feeling you felt when you watched that first movie. And the only way to do it, because you know the life cycle of the creature now, because there's no discovery there, was to introduce some creatures that you don't know what they eat or how they reproduce. And those discoveries can give you that feeling of genetic revulsion that you got from watching that movie the first time.
For the actors, so you see the shooting schedule in front of you. What day do you have circled in terms of, I cannot wait to film this? And what day is circled in terms of, how the F are we going to film this? And in a spoiler-free way.
Yeah, sometimes they were sort of all the same scene, actually. But there was one that sort of started as, I can't wait to film this, which was something involving a xenomorph. But then I didn't realize how long those scenes take. And so what I thought was maybe a couple of days shooting was then sort of weeks, because of the technicality of things like that and the amount of slime involved. It takes a long time. And I've never been on a job that's lasted 6 months before, which is a weird thing, but as a freelancer, that's just been the case for me. And I think there's an amount of stamina that you have to learn over the course of that time, whether it's with an extraterrestrial or not.
I mean, I don't like enclosed spaces very much. I don't want to go as far as saying I'm claustrophobic. I'm that claustrophobic that I don't want people to know it in case they can use it against me. That's the stuff of nightmares. But Noah certainly did use it against me. My character just kept ending up in very tight spaces. And one of the times this thing shut and took a while to open was essentially a coffin. I mean, I can't even describe it as anything else. So yeah, I had those days when I knew I was going to be crawling through something really small, or I was going to be locked in a box. Those days I had, a dread looking forward to. Thank you, Noah.
No baboos were harmed in the making of this show.
I'm trying to think of a way to describe mine without it being a spoiler, but I'm pretty sure you get a glimpse in the trailer in the first episode of one particular character who was my favorite character to work with, no offense, guys, who might be of the kind of sheep variety. And I could not wait to work with this sheep. And some of the stuff that goes on with this sheep was similar to Alex, simultaneously the most fun and the most kind of insane, and also took quite a long time, when you're working with a live sheep,
It's Victoria, right?
Victoria the sheep
steals the show.
She really does.
Incredible actor, yeah.
A stroke of genius, Noah.
Where is she?
A sheep, little docile thing. Look what you did to her.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see.
I'm not
Flying
going
in
to say
tomorrow,
the
isn't
joke
she?
that's in my head.
Is there anything that you guys want to add?
Oh, I had a good time every day. I couldn't wait to show up. I mean, really, technically, I say, do I have to show up by that point? Can we make it a little later? Do you really need me then? But then once I show up, it's really, every day was a ball.
And we were in Thailand for that amount of time as well, which was I'd never been there. I think for a few of us it was our first time.
Yeah, the whole
first time.
experience was very special, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was fun being there with you guys.
Yeah.
I will add on. I found being able to film, 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6 to 7 and 8 was so helpful, because my idea of Wendy when we started episode 1, it changed and transformed so much. So to have that time with these characters for that length of time, I've never done a show this long. That was really, really cool.
I'm almost out of time with you guys, so I'm just going to ask, what you learn during the making of the first season of every show, you learn so much about the making of the show and the infrastructure and putting it together. What were like the big lessons you took away from the first season and making the first season that if you are fortunate enough to make a second season, it'll sort of advance it, and help you?
Well, it's just time, really. Action takes time, creatures take time. Working as practically as we did with the special effects, explosions, all that, everything takes time, and time costs money. And so that's the thing, is if you want to scale it up, you just have to be really realistic with our corporate partners as to what it's going to cost to make something this big. But when you do it and you feel it on the screen, it's worth every penny.
I mean, I'd say it was kind of affirming what you learn series after series, is it's all about the people. To be able to deliver and accomplish something of this magnitude and this ambition, to have a cast that is as kind and connected and passionate for the material, and also, because of the franchise itself, have the craftspeople and the artisans who are similarly so enthusiastic and dedicated to the project. That's what lifts this to the heights that hopefully Noah envisions for it, and they're able to help realize.
Last question for everyone. The first season is 8 episodes. Which is the episode that which is your favorite episode of the 8, and which is the episode you cannot wait for fans to see?
5.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for 5.
That's it.
I'm excited for 5 as well.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, I love that episode. Yeah.
I'm stuck between 7 and 8. I can't say anything about it, but yeah, 7 and 8.
I haven't seen them. So I can't wait for me to see them. That's the answer to your question.
5. 5 is a serious piece of work.
I'm
It's great.
going to go for what Noah said, because even though this is an ongoing series, to land that plane, even at the end of a first season, I would say 8. It's kind of extraordinary, because you have to find a way of delivering on the promise of the adventure of that season, and at the same time find a way of giving something to the audience that's irresistible to come back on top of what they've already gone through. So that one still astounds me.
I'll tell you what else. As we shot this, my experience, more and more fun as we went, more and more delicious as we went. It was great. Like we all were kind of all living fairly amongst each other, saw each other a lot, and there was a lot as the scripts started coming in, where we would generally get together and be like, "Did you read that? I mean, come on! Oh my God, guys!" It really started that wonderful experience that does not happen very often. Certainly, it hasn't happened that often to me. And when you watch TV, it doesn't happen that often. Where each one has this cumulative effect of you're just getting so engrossed into these people and the drama. And so that was a lovely feeling that each episode got a little more fun to show up to.
I mean, in the spirit of Tim, I have to say, by the end of the season, I felt much more conflicted about how I felt about him than I did at the beginning.
Personally,
Yeah.
Personally, you're talking about, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, it's I sometimes I have to do some things so it's easier to say goodbye. You know what I mean?
What's yours?
Well, I don't have to choose. You know, it's all one story, and what I would say is, you know, the story works from beginning to end. And so what I'm excited for is for people to see each week see it build, watch it build, and
You're stealing my answer.
And it pays off in the end.
That
Well, you
sounded
didn't
like
say
my
it. You were
answer.
talking.
What?
You were talking. You haven't even seen the show. I don't know why you're even here.
I was there, man.
I'll tell you what happens.
I was there.
In all seriousness, I really can't wait to see the rest of season 1. I know fans are going to dig this one. Thank you so much for stopping by our studio.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure.